This is A Game. Fast acting, long lasting, with no side effects.
Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I got a clip that I'm going to show you. I might run it twice. I'm not sure. It's not that long. It's a short clip, but I definitely want to talk about several things going on in this clip because it's packed with a lot of things that we talk about here on this channel. And this is the one reason why a lot of modern women don't deserve marriage. And they wonder why the marriage rates have declined because of women like the ones that you're going to see on this clip. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen, and then we are going to come back with my perspective.
Stay married to him for the rest of your life. You're not sexually attracted. You don't like, he's just not funny anymore. You just don't like him anymore.
Do we have kids?
Yeah.
If we have kids, it's not about me anymore.
So you would rather see your children grow up in a home where parents are sleeping in separate bedrooms. They don't talk, they don't hold hands, they don't kiss.
I would rather see my kids grow up in a home where they're at every statistical advantage rather than statistical disadvantage. Because if the father is out of the home, that you put that kid at risk.
Why?
Because life is not easy. Like it's you might think, as a woman, like, oh, my kid's gonna be fine. Your child is just another human being in this world. The world is gonna show your kids that they're at a disadvantage.
And we were talking about it because we were talking about mental health the other day.
Yes.
And I was saying, like, mental health isn't a thing in my family. Like, we're all just happy people. And she says to me, that's because you had both parents in the home.
Let's say if you end up very unhappy, or maybe you're just like, something can just switch, maybe you can just like, oh, I don't like him anymore. Would you stay married to him for the rest of your life? You're not sexually attracted. You don't like, he's just not funny anymore. You just don't like him anymore.
Do we have kids?
Yeah.
If we have kids, it's not about me anymore.
So you would rather see your children grow up in a home where parents are sleeping in separate bedrooms. They don't talk, they don't hold hands, they don't kiss.
I would rather see my kids grow up in a home where they're at every statistical advantage rather than statistical disadvantage. Because if the father is out of the home, that you put that kid at risk.
Why?
Because life is not easy. Like it's you might think, as a woman, like, oh, my kid's gonna be fine. Your child is just another human being in this world. The world is gonna show your kids that they're at a disadvantage.
And we were talking about it because we were talking about mental health the other day.
Yes.
And I was saying, like, mental health isn't a thing in my family. Like, we're all just happy people. And she says to me, that's because you had both parents in the home.
Let's say if you...
Okay. I'm going to come back to you. Let me stop sharing. Okay. Now, I ran it back twice so that you all could actually hear the foolishness. Now, a couple of things going on in this video. So you had one chick who was trying to make an example about why women would want to divorce their husbands, basically break their homes. I thought it was interesting that there were no Black women on that panel. I thought it was interesting that the Caucasian woman was asking first, do we have children? Because the other woman that was creating the example was really trying to make it where, something switched and you just don't like him anymore, as if that was a bona fide reason to break your whole entire marriage and family up, a marriage that you got into willingly. No guns were held to anybody's heads. You said those vows in front of friends, family, and most of all, you said them before each other. And so the other young lady says, do we have kids? She says, yeah. Like, whatever. It didn't matter if you did or didn't. And so she's like, well, it's not about me anymore. And so the other lady was like, well, so you would rather have your kids to grow up in a place where their mother and father don't sleep in a separate bed. But that's your mom and daddy business. That's not even children's business. Whether or not we get down in the bedroom or whether or not there's a lot of affection between us or what our actual personal issues are. And this is one of the problems with a lot of modern women, particularly, is that they think that they're supposed to share that stuff with their children. Now, do children pick up the vibe when something's not right in the house? Of course they do, because they live in a house also. And children should never be underestimated as to what kind of energy they feel and how they perceive and how they pick up things that's going on in the home. So definitely a child can understand intuitively if their parents are having strife with one another. Even if they try to put on a good face, the child can actually feel it. But that still doesn't make the child's business what's going on in the home between and in the relationship between their mother and their father. So she tried to make it juicy, but it is not juicy. There's nothing juicy about it. Okay, her example of leaving a man just because something switched, that right there is the stupidest stuff in the world. And you don't like him anymore. He's not funny anymore. Like, he's not funny anymore. And she was actually surprised that the other woman disagreed. The other two women disagreed with her, because the other woman, although she didn't speak first, she was like, you know what? Your children are people in the world. And so you're going to put them at a disadvantage because why? You think your kid's going to be all right, but your children aren't going to be all right. Why aren't they going to be all right? Because your children aren't covered. You uncover yourself, and then you uncover them. If you have children and you work to wreck your own home, you work to uncover your own self from the protection, from the provision, from the problem solving, and from the procreation of your husband and their father, then you have set everybody back. Everyone. And your quote unquote happiness doesn't trump that. And it's the feminist driven gynocratic women that actually think that their happiness that's fleeting. She just said it can switch. That's why the Most High didn't put women in charge of divorces, because we can switch just like that. And that's why we're not supposed to be making decisions like that. That's what makes us not good leaders, because our emotional states can switch in an instant, seemingly with no provocation. And this is why the Most High gave divorce decrees to men, because he's not doing that stupid stuff. Because just like you switched and didn't like him, you can switch back and the next day you like him, you can't get enough of him. It's called PMS. Okay? We do it once a month. Okay? We will switch off on you at minimum once every 30 days. It's called a PMS. It's called a menstruation cycle. Your period. Okay? That's what that's called, because our hormones go haywire. We become some of the craziest individuals in the world. Okay, crying one minute, laughing the next minute. You want ice cream one minute, you want to jog the other minute, you want to lay down the other minute. Okay, and it will go from minute to minute. That's why men don't bother with us when we in that state. Because what he gonna do with it? But just look at you. You all right, baby? Mm-hmm. No, well, he got to get out of there. Ain't no telling what you do next hour. Okay? Women file for divorces between 75 and 80% of the time. And at that high of a percentage, it's got to be because of this goofy little switch that this chick is talking about, that goes off in her stupid head, that tells her she's suddenly not happy after X amount of years, X amount of time, X amount of energy. Now, all of a sudden, this man who was the apple of her eye a few years ago, now all of a sudden, he's not good enough. The 4 P's that's been good enough all up until right now, all of a sudden, his 4 P's are not good enough. All of a sudden, this switch goes off, and now she can't do it anymore. Okay? And modern women actually believe that everything is supposed to revolve around her emotions, and it does not. Her example did not include any instance where the marriage is worked on or where there's any sense of adhering to the vows that she made for richer, for poorer, for better, for worse. Any of that in sickness and health, none of that. To basically you vowing that I'm going to go through this thing called life with you until one of us draws our last breath. And it would have to be some truly extenuating circumstances to break this marriage otherwise. That's what you're saying in a marriage vow. That's what you're saying. But these chicks don't have anything. So her emotional switch is all that she needs to justify breaking up her entire family, breaking up her entire home, breaking the hearts of her children, breaking the hearts of her husband, breaking her heart. Because these women will do that and they'll strike out, and then not a year or so later, they'll be like, man, I made a real big mistake. Like, this is just horrible. Like, I got to do all this stuff on my own. All this stuff that she was taking for granted that he was doing. All of the so-called little things that aren't quite little when you have to do them. They little when they his responsibility. Now all of a sudden, just stuff, you can't be satisfied. If you don't knock it off. And then you wonder why men increasingly have decided that they are not going to get married, especially state-sanctioned marriages. The men are not doing that anymore because no one wants to invest. Listen, let me tell you something, ladies. No one wants to invest in an untold amount of time, of energy, of money, and other resources, both tangible and intangible, only to have the person that they're doing it for and doing it with to all of a sudden find him not funny anymore. And then break the entire family. Everything he's been building for X amount of time, just break it. Just you done with it. Just, I'm not happy, so nobody can be happy. I'm just going to break it up. I'm just going to do what I want to do because I want to do it. I'm going to be insanely selfish about the entire thing. And I don't care how you deal with it. I don't care how our children cope with it. I don't care now, that I have to break the hearts of my family and force everyone to live in this new reality, a reality of co-parenting and courts and child supports and visitations. And my kids got to figure out whether or not they want to stay with daddy or mama. Everybody's forced into this new reality because I wanted to be selfish. And that's crazy. Modern women are crazy to believe that anyone should want to take such a risk. And there's no safety net. There's no safety net in this country, in this society, in this culture for men whose women just decide that something switched and you don't like him anymore and he's not funny anymore. Like, what are you, 5 years old? This is what it's come to. This is what this feminism and empowerment has come to. Women are literally children. That's literally what children think. It's not fun anymore, so I don't want to do it. That's literally why kids will stop playing with certain toys. That it was all fun. They played with that toy for 2 years. All of a sudden, you can't pay them to play with that toy. It's not fun anymore. I don't like it. I don't like that toy. I don't grow out of that toy. I don't want that toy. And you can't make them play with it. You might as well throw it in the garbage or give it to another kid. And that's how women do their marriages. Throw it in the garbage. Because they're done with it. Because they're tired. Before I sign off, I'm going to bring everyone's attention to the petition for Black Lives Matter that is in the description box. So go ahead and open the description box and click the link inside. Sign the petition, share it, and contribute to it if you can. That would make me so very happy so that we can hold Black Lives Matter as an organization accountable for the misappropriation of their funds. And please sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this topic. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.